Well, we have a specific role where we're trying to gain representations of certain types of environments within the state. So that could be a certain type of a mountain environment based on the type of soil, based on the type of rock that's there. It could be obviously a beach, could be a lake, it could be a swamp area or a river area. We have a number of riverine parks. Those are purposely selected to represent these different types of ecological locations. So that's a big part of what we do. And so we don't just, oh, well, here's a big piece of land, let's just create a park here. We select it based upon the characteristics of that land. And we also look at things like, is there an archaeological presence there that we need to save? And so, or geological, so there are different types of things. So we do have actual criteria for selecting parks. So conservation, recreation, and education. And education is a big part of what we do. Last year we had about 21,000 educational programs put on in a state park, about 500,000 attendees. That's probably low, to be honest, because there are probably a lot of people going to programs that didn't get counted. But it is a big part of what we do, and we have school programs. We have events where it could be anything from a running event to a swimming event. This year's our centennial, 100 years of North Carolina State Parks, and we've had a centennial event in every single state park. And it's been great. You know, it's been wonderful to see all the people coming out. We've had really big events. We had 25,000 people at Fort Macon. We had fireworks. We had the 2nd Marine Corps Division Band. We had cannon fire. We had a battle, well, 5 battle reenactments, which, by the way, all 5 ended the same way. Just, it's good to know that, you know, history is consistent. So we had that, and then we had some smaller events. Because some of our parks, like Weymouth Woods, is basically in the town of Southern Pines, and it's surrounded by neighborhoods, and it provides a great place for local people to go in and see what a longleaf pine forest is like. See some of the endangered species that we have. One in particular is red cockaded woodpeckers, which we kind of look upon as our very own endangered species, and because they need to live in living longleaf pines. And so we spend time, you know, trying to conserve those or planting them and try to create this habitat for the red cockaded woodpecker. We tend to grow 3,000 to 5,000 acres a year. That's kind of hard to figure out what that means, but in essence, even though we might not create a new state park unit, that is about the size of a typical state park. So in a lot of ways, we're kind of adding the equivalent of a new state park every year. Now, it might be broken up into 500 acres here, 250 acres there, maybe 100 acres here, but overall, it's about 3,000 to 5,000 acres. On top of that, we have 2 funding sources that are super important to us. One is the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund. This fund was set up about 20 years ago, designed to do just what you say. We are in a growing state. Our goal is to create parkland to go along with that growing state. And so the fund is broken up. We get about roughly 2/3 of it in state parks. The other third goes to local parks. And so we're trying to hit both ends of the equation, which were matched. And so that allows us to buy that 3,000 to 5,000 acres. And also allows us to build facilities and to renew facilities. Again, you know, you have a 100-year-old system, you're going to have facilities that need to be refreshed or replaced. Very sexy stuff like sewer lines is something we have to pay for and build and that sort of thing. And roads. The other funding source came this year, and we are so happy about this. We received $75 million from the Connect NC bond issue that the state passed, the voters passed back in March. They passed it overwhelmingly, about 2 to 1. And so we are going to have a project from the Connect NC bond issue. There's at least one project in every single state park. And so $75 million, we're going to be building new visitor centers in some places. We're going to be acquiring additional land. We're going to be building new campgrounds, cabins, any number of facilities. Some, again, very exciting stuff like new bathrooms. And believe me, bathrooms are important. There's nothing more important than a bathroom. If you survey state park users, the #1 concern they have is, do you have clean bathrooms? Every time I drive into this state park, and this is Umstead State Park, or William B. Umstead State Park if you want to be official, I'm always amazed because there's Highway 70 on one side and there's Interstate 40 on the other side. The airport is just north of us. So this is a hub of activity right here. But when you drive in, you go through the gate, suddenly you've entered another world. It's heavily wooded. It's just beautiful. We have facilities here that date back to the CCC in the 30s. And there are people here. We have 1.3 million people here every year. But there's enough space here to spread out. And people walk and they ride, they run, they do any number of things here. And they camp and they attend programs. But this is a wonderful bubble in the middle of a metropolitan area. It's really exciting. This is a real gem here, no question about it.